Jai Shri Ram. Continuing the discussion about how normal people end up becoming toxic. ChatGPT ended with this. If you want, I can map a kind of taxonomy of hidden dysfunctions for seemingly normal people so we can see why they become insufferably toxic in everyday life. It's eye opening and almost surgical in precision. Surgical precision. Do you want? Yes, please. Perfect. Let's do a deep dissection. I'll break this down into a taxonomy of hidden dysfunctions and explain why seemingly normal, intelligent people often become insufferably toxic. So you can spot the patterns. Emotional dysfunctions, okay. They originate from unprocessed feelings and early relational wounds. Unprocessed feelings and early relational wounds, chaos theory, butterfly effect, sensitive dependence on initial conditions, chronic shame and guilt. They constantly fear judgment or failure, may project it onto others as criticism or sabotage. Hmm. Unregulated anger. Normal intelligence helps them rationalize aggression, rationalizing aggression, turning it into passive aggressive manipulation or cold hostility. Oh my God. Unregulated anger. Emotional suppression. They hide vulnerability behind sarcasm. Uh, it's good to be vulnerable. Cry once in a while. There's nothing wrong. Okay, they hide vulnerability behind sarcasm, perfectionism, or control behaviors, micromanaging, making them seem cold, rigid, or manipulative. Real world manifestation, micromanaging, constant criticism, using logic to invalidate others' feelings. Cognitive dysfunctions. Smart minds can create dangerous mental shortcuts or blind spots. Rationalization loops. They justify toxic behavior with I am right, this is necessary, or others provoke me. Selective moral vision. Selective moral vision. Morality is applied unevenly. They expect integrity from others but exempt themselves. Overthinking as paralysis. Analysis paralysis syndrome. They analyze endlessly, often weaponizing complexity to confuse or dominate discussions. True. Real world manifestation, gaslighting, convoluted arguments, twisting facts to maintain superiority, context-to-me twistification, personality and identity dysfunctions. Hmm. They arise from early attachment and ego pattern. Narcissistic drift. Even without full blown narcissism, subtle entitlement, lack of empathy, or self importance creeps in. Insecure grandiosity. Mhm. Okay, they overcompensate for or compensate for deep self-doubt by dominating, criticizing, or controlling. Insecure grandiosity. Identity rigidity. Their sense of self is tied to competence, intelligence, or social image. Deviation triggers defensiveness. Hmm. Identity rigidity. Now, our identity should be flexible. Yeah, I fully agree with that. Real world manifestations: smugness, dismissiveness, obsession with winning socially or intellectually. Relational dysfunctions. These are patterns in how they interact with others. Exploitation of trust. Normal people, when toxic, often subtly drain or manipulate close associates. Exploitation of trust. Emotional vampirism. Ah, lovely phrase. Emotional vampirism. They use others' vulnerabilities as mirrors for self validation or to deflect discomfort. Correct. Projection and scapegoating. Blaming others for their own shortcomings or inner chaos. Internal locus of control, external locus of control. Actually, a very interesting topic for discussion. Internal locus of control, blaming oneself for it and correcting, course correcting. What do you call that? Stephen R. Covey describes that as proactiveness. Be proactive. Proactive means anticipating future problems and preparing accordingly now without wasting time on complaining. Reactive people are always complaining. Uh, they they love to complain all the time. Proactive people don't complain. They don't waste their time complaining. They're busy, preparing to meet the future situation, and so constantly learning. So stop projection and scapegoating. Drama in relationships, real world manifestation, constant conflict, Friends and family feeling used, or I feel drained. There are so many people in my inner circle who are so toxic, I feel drained. Even small interactions will leave you feeling exhausted, psychologically, mentally, emotionally drained. Existential and moral dysfunctions. Yeah, existential ennui, ENNUI, boredom. Existential crisis, you have no idea why you are living. Teleology, ah, we must know why we are here. Telos actually means the goal. What's your telos in life? You have to decide what's your telos. Give meaning to your life. That is existentialism. People who do not have any overarching goal in life will suffer from Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Therefore, Gita is the solution. There are too many mosquitoes here. Moral shortcuts. Success, ambition, or survival sometimes overrides ethical restraint. Apad dharma is understandable, but you are not always in an emergency situation or crisis. Fear of weakness, vulnerability is treated as deadly, honesty or empathy is weaponized or suppressed. That's true. Honesty is not a policy, yaar. Honesty is a principle on which lives must be lived. Those English idiots said honesty is the best policy. It's not a policy, damn it. Honesty is the principle on which lives must be lived, and societies, civilizations must be founded on honesty. And anything that is adharmic and dishonest must be immediately punished. And sometimes it should attract capital punishment. Though that is why Rama is told by Vishwamitra, Nrushamsam Anrushamsam va Prajakarshana Karanat. Nrushamsam Anrushamsam va Prajakarshana Karanat. When Rama was expressing misgivings, qualms, and hesitating, scrupling about whether to kill Tataki because she is a woman, Vishwamitra said, Nrushamsam Anrushamsam va Prajakarshana Karanat, which means a king must be willing to do cruel deeds for the sake of the welfare of the people. I don't want to dilate on this now. Spiritual blindness, spiritual apathy, Accidie, that's a nice word. Accidie. Accidie means spiritual sloth. Not studying Gita, not listening to Ramayana, no capacity for listening. This is an attention economy. Somebody said the people, Gen Z especially, and most other generations also, their attention is just only for 8 seconds, 8 seconds only. While we are actually drowning in knowledge or information, attention spans are so limited, only 8 seconds, because they are busy watching reels on Instagram and trash. It's all trash, and the conversation is also about trash. So we have become professional trash talkers. Spiritually famished, overfed in every other area, but spiritually famished, and worse, no attention span. Spiritual blindness. Intelligence may substitute for wisdom. Knowledge becomes justification, not liberation. Carelessness, opportunism, cruelty disguised as pragmatism or truth telling. Compounding mechanisms. What makes these dysfunctions sticky and incurable? Self reinforcing patterns. Each toxic act strengthens justification loops and ego defenses. Social reinforcement. Toxicity is often rewarded. Correct. Look at those Filmfare awards. All those awards also are being given to toxic fools actually. Career advancement, control, or perceived toxicity is often rewarded with career advancement and unconscious blind spots. They may be genuinely be unaware. They may genuinely be unaware of their insufferable impact, or aware but unwilling to change. Both. I think they are aware but unwilling to change. Summary. Normal intelligent people aren't immune to dysfunction. In fact, intelligence often sharpens the camouflage. Like Duryodhana. When Krishna tried to put some sense in him, Duryodhana, Pandava Gita, you will find this verse. Pandava Gita, amazing Gita, 92 verses. There are two versions of it, Chitrapuri Mat version and Swarnapuri Mat version. One has 84 verses, the other has 92. Pandava Gita is a must read if you are a Hindu. Where Duryodhana is saying, Janami dharmam nachame pravrutti. I know dharma, I don't feel like doing it. Janami adharmam nachame nivrutti. I know what is adharma, I cannot stop myself from indulging in adharma. Tvai hrishikesha hridisthitena yadhani yuktosi asmi tadha karomi. And by the way, Krishna, you are the Supreme Lord seated in my heart, and you are doing everything. In fact, I am just an instrument. I am just an instrument. And you are to blame yourself actually. Don't blame me. This is Duryodhana at his best. Malicious obedience. That's why Krishna said, fine, there's nothing I can do to help you now. You will all be destroyed. That is the plight, the predicament of the human today. More educated, more colonized. PhDs and all that, their ego is so huge they are not willing to listen. Whereas the Subhashita says, Vishadapi Amrutam Grahyam. Vishadapi Amrutam Grahyam. Amitradapi Sadvruttim. Even from an enemy, learn his virtues. Baladapi Subhashitam. If a child also speaks something wise, we must listen to the child and learn. Remember, the Atma has no age. It is the body that is young or old. All of us are co-eval with Krishna. Okay. Baladapi Sadvruttam, Baladapi Subhashitam, Amedhyadapi Kanchanam. Even from filth, if you find ore, gold ore, or let us say there is a gold biscuit buried under a heap of garbage, would you not remove that garbage to take that nugget of gold? You would. So that is the Subhashita. The Subhashita I will repeat again for you. Vishadapi Amrutam Grahyam, Amitradapi Sadvruttim, Baladapi Subhashitam, Amedhyadapi Kanchanam. So intelligence will sharpen the camouflage. Trauma, insecurity and unprocessed emotion create hidden toxicity. Add in social and cognitive reinforcement and you get people who are superficially competent but deeply insufferable. I just can't tolerate. If you want, I can draw a flow chart showing how a normally intelligent person can spiral into this toxic state, step by step. It is visually shocking how small triggers snowball into full-blown insufferability. Oh yes, we'll come to that later. Thank you very much.